In this video, we're going to discuss how you can find your first client as a recruiting agency owner in the beginning. So as a recruiting agency owner, when you're thinking about reaching out to prospective clients, one of the methodologies that you may want to use is a cold email strategy. And when it comes to a cold email strategy, one of the best things that you need to take into consideration are three key elements. The first is your actual subject line. The second is going to be your opening, or exactly what is the value that you're saying that you're bringing to the table. And then third is a call to action, or a CTA. You always want to ensure that you end your cold email with some form of a call to action. So we're actually going to take a look at one of the examples that I provide in terms of a cold email sequence by taking a look at the very first email of this particular sequence. Now keep in mind that this is actually one of the resources that I provide in my program, the Recruiting Agency Accelerator Coaching Program. If you want to learn more, then I'll be sure to leave the link down below in the description box. That way you can sign up for our waiting list and get more information on our next class early next year. Now jumping in and taking a look at this cold email, you'll notice that again, there's three key elements that we're really going to pay attention to. The first is going to be the subject line. Now the subject line is extremely important because you want to ensure that you come up with something that's really going to entice your prospective client. In this case, it's simply asking a question in regards to the fact of if there are any open roles. Now, as we move on to this particular email, you'll also see that we begin it by actually being pretty casual. So, hey, and then we're leveraging their name. If you're leveraging some form of an email automation tool, then you'll actually be able to input their name rather easily. From there, we actually move on to providing them with a greeting and wishing them well, or at least hoping that they're doing well. And then ultimately moving on to exactly what it is that we can do in order to be able to help. Again, you'll see that there's a question that's posed as well as then a solution or an almost answer to that question. Now, when it comes to the next couple paragraphs that are within this email, it's important to note that you can play around with this. So it's a template, meaning that you're able to change the language as much as you possibly need to. Now, in this particular email sequence, it is considered to be more direct. We're actually talking about our percentage fee, we're talking about what we've been able to do with other clients, and we're talking about our staff that would be available to be able to help fill their open requisitions. So there's a lot that's going on here. And from a sales perspective, again, it's really touching on the fact of what it is that we can do in order to help. So that give and take. And then finally, as we go to the bottom of this email, you'll then notice that there is a call to action, or a CTA. And a CTA is extremely important because essentially it prompts an individual to want to respond to the email, meaning that it's asking them a question. And in most cases, when you're asked a question, you instantly want to go about answering it. So the call to action that's actually listed within this particular email is, when would be a good time to connect for a few minutes? Again, this is just prompting your prospective client to really think through if there's an open opportunity for the two of you to connect, if they've been able to find value out of your email. Now, one of the main things that you want to keep in mind in regards to a cold email, especially the very first one that you send, is that 9 times out of 10, someone will not read it. This is why a cold email sequence is extremely important. And that sequence can be anywhere from 5 emails all the way to 10. Although I found the secret to really be around 7 to 8 emails. So it's important that, of course, you start off strong, but understand that you have more emails that you're going to send, you have more information that you're going to provide your clients, and you're going to come at them from different angles in order to be able to actually potentially work with them. So when you're thinking about constructing your first email, I definitely tell you not to be stressed about it. Again, the open rate will probably be a lot lower than some of the other emails that you'll send within your sequence. And ultimately, you can continue to edit and reiterate until you find a cold email sequence as well as content within that sequence that really works for you. Well, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, then be sure to give me a thumbs up, as well as if you are not in my Facebook group, then I definitely encourage you to join because we're in there talking all things recruiting. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.